start in 3, 2, 1, please.
Hello, my name is Adrianna Matuszczak. I'm from Poznań University of Technology in Poland. Now we started the session 2, Transport and Environmental Recovery. And I will present a short presentation about the unis and the history. Okay, the first one will be the European University invitation. Then we will talk about the unis alias about us, and the unis European University, and I will tell about our projects. First, the European University invite. Okay. What is the European University invite? At the 2017 Gothenburg Summit, and UA leaders outlined a vision for the education and culture. In December 2017, the European Council called on member states and the Council and the Commission to strengthen statistics partnership across the UA between higher education institutions and encouraging the emergency by 2024 of same 20 European universities. Consider in the bottom-up networks of university across the UA, which will enable students to obligate and degree by combining studies in the several UR countries and combined in the international competitive out European universities. CO developed by higher education institution, students, organized member states and the Commission, the European universities invitate response to this call. Today, it is one of the flagship initiatives of the UA ambitions to build the European university area. It was the short background. Okay, so the European University, a key pillar of the European education area. So we have 41 alliances, more than 280 higher education institutes, up to 5 million euros from Erasmus Plus, up to 2 million from the Horizon 2020 per alliance, and we have it 27 member states, Iceland, Norway, Serbia, and Turkey, and the United Kingdoms. And now I will present the short movie about European University Invitate.
Imagine new kinds of universities. Universities where you can learn, teach, research, and cooperate like never before. Imagine a pioneering vision. A vision shared by groups of universities from all over Europe. Driving innovative ways of learning and inspiring cutting-edge research. This is happening right here, right now. Higher education institutions from all over Europe are coming together to form European universities. A unique opportunity for you to design your own curriculum. Across disciplines, borders, cultures and languages. And build the specific skills you will need for your future. Imagine students Teachers, researchers, companies and cities working together to tackle society's greatest challenges. Transforming higher education in Europe. These are the universities of the future. These are European universities. Now, just imagine being a part of it. Funded by Erasmus+.
Okay, so we have a short movie. Then I will present the UNIS Alliance. And we in the UNIS stands for a European University for Customized Education. So it's connect for the UNIS. And the UNIS is about 7 universities in the whole Europe. We have the first one is the Poznań University of Technology. It's based in Poznań in Poland. Then we have a BOT in Germany, University of Contribia in Spain. Then we have a Belgium, University of Mons, Italy, University of Catania, France, Polytechnic University, Haus de France, and Finland, University of Vasa. And we connected like a UNIS. And then we have another movie about we are a UNIS, I am the UNIS.
Jestem Eunice.
Ich bin Onis.
Yo soy Eunice.
Je suis Eunice.
Io sono Eunice.
Je suis Eunice.
Mina olen Eunice.
And this video shows a student from each of the 7 universities in the Multilingual Alliance. We are pronounced UNIS differently yet, but we are all the UNIS. The first member and the coordinator of the UNIS in this year are the Poznań University of Technology, based in Poznań. Then we have University of Technology Campus Schuttenberg, based in Germany. Then we have University of Coimbra, based in Spain, and the University of Mons, based in Belgium. University of Catania, based in Italy. University of Haus de France, Polytechnic University of Haus de France, it's France. And then we have the University of Vasa, based in Finland. And our strategic UNIS partners have a local government, related institutions, business networks, and social organizations. And I can present you UNIS in the figures. So we are 7 universities, 49 partners, 63 faculties, 8,500 academic and research staff members, and over 100,000 students. The biggest one is the University of Catania, and then we have PUT, University of Cambria, University of Polytechnic House of the France, University of the Mons, BUT, and VAS. And common features, delocalization. All the universities are local in the medium-sized cities. So they are not big and they are not small. And we have higher quality life. Each university plays a big role in the social environmental, and we have ability to change, and we adapt to this change. And the key pillar of unis are personalized unique education, European and global values, sustainable development, connecting teaching and the research, impact on the society. And the last one is harmony between the academic and the economic framework, because we cooperate with the business. Heading to flexibility, protagonism, mobility, converse, innovative, convention, and role model. Now I will talk about unis, like the project. Okay, so we create educational offer, needs, common, like a smart cities, health, transport and mobility, environment and energy, sustainable development. We're sharing the contents, existing online courses, and we co-create courses. We have zero hunger, quality education, industrial innovation and infrastructure, responsible consumers and producing, action por el clima. So we care about the climate. And next we have mobility and the uni certificate. So we have interactive virtual university, geographic mobility, certificate open, unis open bar. And then we have shaping European citizens. We have some road, and we need analytics, languages, global competencies, university, and identify, extend Erasmus experience. And now we have the university unis European label. We have language courses in each country. Each country has each language course. We have exchange period, so we can like fly to another country and know some culture and everything. And we have international internships. So the students from our university go to another university to have an internship and know some culture. And we are building university plus business, university European internship portal, access to 800 companies in 7 countries. In unis, we built an internship program, will be available in website, and everyone can join it and connect. When someone wants to have some internship, they can put it there and we will connect. And then we have something about the research portal, UNIS project, common research and agenda for the challenge in the fight by the Age 2020 program, effective cooperation between scientific exchange and social awareness and responsibility, alliance competence culture for the best practice research infrastructure and environment restores. And we have some technology, virtual and interactive platform. We base on SaaS, so it's UNIS portal. We have their courses, labs and faculties, research and information from each partner. All activities take place on the server. And we have some additional funding from Erasmus Mundus, Erasmus Plus, Horizon European, Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions, and High Invitate Innovation Catholic Building for Higher Education. And now we have a short movie about UNIS European University. Okay, and that's what means from me. Now we have like 15 minutes wait for the first one. And first one will be Solvay Group's Morgan Miguel from UC. And now we have like 15-minute break. We can do some coffee, tea, and we'll be back in 15 minutes for 9:15. Thank you very much for your attention. So we have it already Solvay Group, but I think we can wait a few minutes to join some students.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Right, okay. I was just doing some trials. I'll connect
Yeah.
in at 9:15, okay?
Okay, yes, we
And can you see me?
will start at 9:15. Yes, I see
Hi.
you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Okay, let me just grab a cup of coffee and I'll join you in about 10 minutes.
Okay, we will
Thanks.
write. I think we can start it if you are ready.
Yeah, Adriana, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's fine.
You can start. The
So,
floor is
hello.
yours.
Thanks. Hello, everyone. My name is George Oliveira. I'm the site manager of the Solvay Torrelavega plant here in the north of Spain. I'm also the country manager for Solvay in Portugal and Spain. And it's really a great pleasure and honor for me to be connected to you today on behalf of Solvay, which, as some of you or most of you might know, is a global leader in materials, solutions, and chemicals. And in this world that's becoming more and more global and interconnected, I really believe that this UNIS program is a fundamental and very important step, especially at the European level, to bring universities together so that they can collaborate more and can share best practices. And at the end of the day, make sure that all our students and pupils have the best available education in this world that is fast moving, and it needs people that have a much greater interconnection and speed of access to knowledge. So it's a real pleasure for me, like I said, on behalf of Solvay, to participate in this program here in Cantabria with the Cantabrian University, which is a very important university, of course, not only in Cantabria, but a renowned university in Spain. And for us, it's a great pleasure to be part of this very, very interesting adventure, if I can put it that way. Let me just go through a few things on who we are, Solvay, and then just explain to you a little bit of what we are doing in terms of projects relating to energy transition and also protecting the environment. So Solvay Group, in a nutshell, was born, created, established by this fine young gentleman on our right, Ernest Solvay, in 1863. So a company that's close to 158 years old. Not many companies have this this age, and it's still thriving and going on, especially with respect to a passion for progress, which this gentleman instated at the very beginning of his career and then establishing this company. The group is headquartered in Brussels, and it's a world leader in sustainable chemistry, of which 90% of the markets where Solvay is positioned, we're in the top 3 global players. Here are some numbers. I won't go through this. You can then have access to this information, but basically it's a science company that tries to bring benefit to our daily life with all sorts of things that we use on a day-to-day basis, and we don't really know that the fundamental origin, the producer, the origin of some of these products is based in our plants all over the world. We're based in 64 countries, close to 23,000 employees, and we have 110 different chemical sites all over the world. We're pretty well established worldwide, with 30% close to in Europe, Asia Pacific, another 30%, close to 30% in North America, and another developing area is Latin America. As I said, we provide solutions for diversified markets, whether it's automotive and aerospace, consumer goods, industrial applications, buildings, electronics, agro-feed and food, and more resources and environment. Recently, we established what we called our 2030 Solvay One Planet goals, based on 3 axes of development: 1, climate, fighting against climate crisis; resources, trying to find better ways and reduction of using our very precious resources; and a 3rd very important factor in improving the quality of life of our day-to-day, but also quality of life in our working environment. So things like phase out of coal. We hope to phase out in all our plants 100% by 2030, increasing our actions on biodiversity, working more on sustainable solutions, reducing intake of fresh water, and something that we will see later on in the presentation, the increase in the circular economy is trying to maximize things that today we just send to landfill, which is part of our societal, let's say, consumption ways of being. We need to, on this, we need to reduce that impact on the consumption of resources, but we also need to be better and find a more, let's say, intelligent way of recovering some of these resources, recycling, reusing, and if they can't be recycled or reused, use them in a way that we can take other benefits from them, like, for example, extracting energy. More at the Iberian Peninsula, so we have Spain and Portugal. The headquarters of Solvay in Iberia is in the Torlavega plant, from where I'm speaking to you currently. There's a picture of the nice plant embedded in the Cantabrian landscape up on the top of the screen. Here we produce soda ash, which is fundamental for the production of glass, bicarbonate, which is fundamental for food and agro, but also becoming more and more important in pharmaceutical applications, and also salt, which we use for industrial processes, but also ends up on our day-to-day tables. We have a small office in Barcelona, and we have a hydrogen peroxide plant in Póvoa on the outskirts of Lisbon, and we have a shared service center with something like 450 employees in Lisbon. So all in all, we're reaching close to 800, 900 people in the Iberian Peninsula. So an important part of Solvay in the world. Closer look at Torlavega, the production site of soda ash. We have the factory. We use 2 fundamental raw materials, which is limestone and salt. Salt, which is extracted at 1,500 meters underground, and limestone quarry, which is very close to the factory. With these 2, and with a very important strategic logistics port, which is the Port of Santander, we produce close to 1 million tons of product, which more than 60% we export all over the world. We have on the site something like 700 people working on a continuous basis. We invest something like 15 million euros a year just to maintain the site, so impressive numbers, just to maintain the factory alive and updated as much as possible. And we also invest in new technologies, new equipment, new processes, something like 14 million euros per year. Like I said, we produce something like 1 million tons of product each year, and we've still got a lot of space to develop further in the future. Fundamental leadership and management of the site and also of the group is safety. There's nothing more important than the safety of our people, our collaborators, the contractors that we work with, and also the people that interact with us on a irregular basis. On top of that, then comes all the rest, the production, the quality, the sales. But first and foremost, there's no point in having an organization where people run risks and then end up by being injured and have an impact not only on the professional life, but also on their personal life. So strong attention, lots of investment in time, in resources, in making sure that we can provide safety environments, that we can provide safety cultures, and that the behaviors that we implement on the site are the correct ones. So like I said, we have two main raw materials. We have limestone and salt. We consume something like 1.3 million tons of limestone a year, and also something like 2 million tons of salt per year. In terms of fuels, this is an area that within the global Solvay One Planet goals, we are working hard. We have 60% of our energy still comes from coal, and we want to phase out that coal. And the remaining 30 to 40% is gas. So just give you a quick flavor of what we are doing in terms of the energy transition. Let's see if this connects. It's a bit slow. So for more than 100 years, we've been in this region, and we want to make sure that we can continue to evolve, develop, invest, and be here for at least another 100 years. The production process, like I said, is very intensive in energy. And as you can see from the global map there, we export to practically all over the world. In terms of the decarbonization, like I said to you, we have 1/3 is today natural gas, 2/3 are coal, and we want to move to 2/3 natural gas and 1/3 CDR. So CDR is combustible derived from residues. The residues that we produce today, most of them still go to landfill, unfortunately, but they have a very high energetic content. So one of the things we want to do is, instead of sending residues to landfill after they have been sorted, those that can be highly used as in a boiler in order to recover that energy. This is a big project that we're undergoing, which will be costing something like 200 million euros just to make this conversion. At some point, we also will be increasing our consumption of natural gas, but we also will be adapting our plants in order to be able to cap in to green hydrogen in the future. And at the end of the day, what is RDF, residue-derived fuel? You have non-hazardous waste, which we produce on a day-to-day basis. This is an issue that society also has to deal with. It goes through a mechanical and biological treatment plant, a TMB, as they call it. Part of it, the residues that we produce are recycled. Others go to compost, and then the small fraction still will have to end up in the landfill. But the majority, we want to tap in, and this is what is called CDR or RDF, residue-derived fuel, are solid materials prepared from non-hazardous waste selected and treated for energy recovery. And at the end of the day, what we do is feed this into a boiler, a bit like a furnace or chimney at home. We provide organic high energy intensive material into a boiler. We extract the heat, and we end up by having through a gas treatment process, clean air leaving the site. So back to this first one. I would also invite you to check out, if you're really interested into these things. We've produced a very nice internet website. It's called besayanuevaenergia.es. You can see that on the top of the screen, but we can send you the links as you wish. And it explains a little bit how the project is developing and the fundamentals that were based on this project and how it will bring a lot of benefits to everyone that's involved. So back to the presentation here. So this is something that we do, and I think we're quite innovative in all of this. We don't just explore the natural, let's say, heritage, but also the natural richness that the world provides us. On the left-hand side, you can see our initial limestone quarry, very depleted, leaving these white marks in the landscape, and this area is very, very green. So it's a beautiful landscape, and Solvay decided that we would try to recover this, also according to the organizational and sustainable development objectives, number 15, life on land and life below water. What you can see is after close to 30 years of hard work with NGOs, with the local communities, we've transformed an old depleted quarry, which we've used the limestone to produce the glass that we so much need. And we've transformed this into a nice park that we can visit. There's 250 different species of birds, all sorts of different wildlife that slowly but surely have moved into this area because it's been recovered. And it's a nice place to just go for a walk and see what once was a limestone quarry today is a park which you can visit with schools, with families, and go for bicycle rides and just enjoy nature again. So it's bringing nature back to its origin after having extracted some of the nature that we needed to produce our products. These are some of the products that we produce. And of these products, like I said, we use this every day. It's a bit like the computers when they say Intel inside. Most of the stuff that we need on a day-to-day basis, I think we could also put a tag on Solvay inside, because one way or the other, the origin has come from one of our Solvay plants to end up on our day-to-day tables or way of life. So things like soda ash, sodium carbonate, it's used for glass industry, like I've said a few times, chemical industry, detergents, metallurgical activities, constructions, textile. Sodium bicarbonate, human food industry, so things like making those nice crunchy biscuits you see there. Animal food, fundamental to help the digestion of the feed, and more pharmaceutical industries, so things like small cartridges, filters for hemodialysis, for the filtering of blood for those patients that need that. And new products which are coming out, SB03 is an innovative product that we've developed in order to treat flue gas treatment from chimneys, not only from industrial sites, but also from large ships nowadays. It's one of the areas that we are working hard on to implement. The Torlavega site, innovation is part of the way of being. We have an R&I or an R&D center on the site. where we've been producing over the years small developments, which then end up by becoming larger industrial sites all over the world. Lots of certifications, so lots of time invested in guaranteeing the quality that is required by our customers. And all of these, of course, are audited by external companies to make sure that we are continuing to develop and improve. And a fundamental part of our being is also trying to convey information and knowledge to the younger generations, the generations of the future. So you can see there, on a normal basis, we can bring in anything between 10 to 40 different collaborations with universities and business schools, final projects, masters. The last 2 years, you can see there's been a tail off, especially the last year, because of the reasons that we know. The COVID crisis didn't help there, but strong collaboration still with the universities, the technical colleges, and on a regular basis we have a lot of practices on site, working with those educational centers. So basically that's me. I think I've just covered the presentation. I think I still might have a few more minutes. I would like just to share with you a video that we've produced with respect to the quarry recovery, which we've presented for an award. CEFIC is the European organization of chemical industry. Just to give you a flavor of how we can, from something that's been used, how we can recover it and bring it back to its more or less original state, and therefore making the best of both worlds, whilst producing products that we require. Let's see if this connects.
Excuse me, Professor, technician, we can't hear the sound because you didn't share the sound of the video. Can you hear me, Professor?
I can hear you, but I think I have some bad connection.
No, he didn't share the sound of the video, so we can't hear the video. So can you replace the sharing?
Sorry, I'm listening to some background noise. You can't hear the sound of the video?
Exactly. So if you stop the share and restart the sharing, you have to flag.
Stop the share.
You start again at the bottom part of the window. You have share sound, share PC sound. No, start the sharing, press on the screen share.
Yeah.
Now you can select the screen, but on this window, there is the flag.
Oh, share sound.
Exactly. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And we replace the video. Thank you very much.
Okay, right. Thanks. I've learned something this morning. Thank you. Teaching me something this morning.
The landscape recovery of the old quarry of Solvay in Cutia is an example of how we can exploit a mining resource and, once complete, reintegrate the transformed land back into the community. A landscape which has been reconverted into a natural space with a vast ecological and biological value, as well as generating an extraordinary environment for the enjoyment of the community. This old mine is located in the north of Spain, to be precise, on the right bank of the delta of the Saja-Besaya River, near the beach of Cutia, in the Cantabrian municipality of Miengo. The quarry was operated for more than 80 years, since 1923 until 2006. During all this time, the quarry supplied limestone to the factory of Solvay in Torrelavega. Limestone is one of the main raw materials used to produce soda ash and sodium bicarbonate. These products serve as a base to make a lot of other different products used to improve our quality of life. In the year 1988, closure plan of the mine was presented to the authorities, including the initial project of the landscape recovery plan. In the year 1990, the landscape recovery was initiated, whilst other areas of the quarry continued to operate. From 2006 and, in a more ambitious second phase from a sustainable point of view, we initiated the work with a new approach. Our new objectives were the reduction of the visual impact of the old stone faces, increase the wetland areas, and extensive plantation of trees with the aim of achieving a better integration of the bare exploited areas in the landscape, whilst increasing the biodiversity already existent in the area. From 2013 onwards, once the main restoration work had been carried out, Solvay decides to take a qualitative step forward in the works and starts to collaborate with the conservation association SEO BirdLife, a Spanish ornithology society. The results are clearly visible today. The existing wetlands constitute one of the most important natural merits of this area. Part of the works carried out during this last phase have consisted in reduction of the visual impact thanks to the geomorphological redevelopment, creation of new wetlands and improving the existing ones, introduction of livestock in order to control the invasive species, and the replanting of all the bare areas which were exploited with native species. With the purpose of informing the visitors coming to this area, open to the public, several informative panels were also installed.
Los espacios postindustriales, aquellos que ya han sido utilizados por la industria, suponen una oportunidad para convertirlos en espacios para la biodiversidad. Para que esto tenga éxito y se logren resultados en términos de conservación de la biodiversidad, es importantísimo que haya una colaboración entre las entidades conservacionistas como SEO BirdLife y la industria, como es el caso de Solvay. La cantera de Cuchilla supone un ejemplo clarísimo de cómo, utilizando las técnicas adecuadas, trabajando con la naturaleza, se pueden convertir espacios degradados y espacios ya altamente utilizados en nuevos espacios para la biodiversidad.
All this work has allowed us to create an extraordinary natural public space. Since the beginning of the restoration plan and with the aim of keeping track of the natural recovery process, SEO BirdLife has carried out an inventory of the existing fauna and flora through periodical census. One of the main environmental challenges in the north of Spain area is to control and prevent the spread of the invasive species known as pampa grass, which has also spread throughout the land of the old quarry of Cuchilla. Since 2019, Solvay has worked with SEO BirdLife and other public and private entities, playing a joint active role in a European Union project aiming to eliminate invasive plant species. Cuchilla has become a living laboratory of the effectiveness of the different pioneering techniques for the elimination of these plants and for the further preservation of these areas. In line with our corporate social responsibility policy and with the aim of sharing the natural values of the quarry and all the work done so far, we are organizing interpretative visits with the community with a special focus on different schools from the area. A special highlight was the celebration of one of our citizen days, which took place in the old quarry of Cutia, when several workers of the Solvay factory voluntarily planted more than 250 native trees and built and placed several bird nest boxes. This activity was organized jointly with SEO Bird Life with the participation of more than 100 school students.
Es un verdadero privilegio contar en Cantabria con una empresa como Solvay que demuestra con hechos que es posible compaginar una actividad industrial con el respeto al medio ambiente y estar comprometida con la comunidad. La restauración de la cantera de Solvay en Cuchilla es un buen ejemplo de sostenibilidad y responsabilidad social.
At Solvay, we are proud of our past.
George, we need to have another presentation.
It's coming to an end. 30 seconds.
Okay.
The work
Sorry.
undertaken during these previous years is the current condition of the quarry, an extraordinary natural space at the disposal of the community, which allows us to showcase that sustainability is an integral part of the DNA of Solvay.
Okay, so that's me. Just one final message. A better world is all about collaboration. And I think this UNIS program is a collaboration at university level, at the European level. And I would just send out just one last final message to all the students that are listening and ultimately will be participating in this program. Enjoy your university life. It's a great period of our lives. Study, think big, and nothing is impossible. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your presentation. And now we will have Sender Energy Group. I see that Begonia and Georgie is already here. So you can start your presentation.